Hiya, thrill seekers. I wanted to talk about a little Instagram interaction I had last week, which I thought was interesting and indicative of something. And if I'm not careful, this video is going to sound like I'm putting people down and making fun of people and saying they're bad. And so I'm going to be saying a lot about like, oh, I'm not saying they're bad, but so here goes. There's a new magazine out on the stands that you'll see in Whole Foods and places like that, and it's called Meditation Mag, and they have like Deepak Chopra on the cover and whatever. And I started following them on Instagram just for poops and laughs. And last week they had a thing on their Instagram page with a guy named Dino Hira. He's described as a meditation activist and star of Married at First Sight. And on this video he's talking about pranayama and meditation and life. I was intrigued by this idea of meditation activists, so I wrote a comment, and I'll show you a screenshot of it. I said meditation activist, and they said it means somebody who tries to help spread meditation in the world. There's a similar concept in Buddhism called engaged Buddhism. Siddhartha did that too. And I just wrote back to him, I have heard of this Buddhism of which you speak. And just the whole interaction, it just seemed kind of funny to me. On the one hand, here's people who are writing a thing or producing a thing called Meditation Magazine, sort of Buddha-splaining Buddhism to me, which I thought was kind of funny. And this is where I'm gonna maybe put my foot in my mouth, but I'll do it anyway. The fact that they didn't know who I was interesting and kind of indicative of something. And I'm not trying to say like I'm the biggest star in the world and whatever and being egotistical about it, but you know, I'm consistently, I can go to Barnes and Nobles like anybody else, and I see more copies of my books than anybody else's books in the Buddhism section way at the back of the store. You know, so I know kind of where my popularity stands. I'm a known person in the field, but they don't know who I am. They don't know that I know about Buddhism. They're explaining engaged Buddhism in such a way that it's kind of clear they don't know what engaged Buddhism is, and they're invoking Siddhartha as, you know, kind of comparing this guy Dino Hira to Siddhartha. So I went on Dino Hira's web page, and yeah, okay, you know, if you put him in the milieu of, I don't know, what do they call it, social media influencers, you know, there's certainly a lot worse social media influencers than this guy, you know, and there's certainly a lot of trashy people on reality TV shows who've got nothing to say and no helpful anything for anybody, you know, and so I think a guy like Dino Hira is better than that. So you know, you place it in that context and you go, okay, this guy's, you know, pretty good. But I go on his website, and the first thing is he's got let's see, a copper water bottle for sale. Okay, fine. Online yogi mindfulness session for $111. His Ayurvedic, it says my Ayurvedic superfood and my meditation well-being mala, my organite pyramid, what my 9 planets gemstones, my mandala yoga pants, my mandala yoga mat, my natural ingredient incense, like they're all like his branded stuff, I suppose. And he's got all kinds of things you can sign up for: online modern yogi mindfulness session, online modern yogi 28-day to positivity, abundance and gratitude, online hypnotherapy package, online modern yogi manifestation session. You know, some of these are $111, $750. The 28-day thing is $1,350. You know, so it's a business, and I don't begrudge people making money from this, but the whole idea of like online one-on-one meditation things, I get asked to do this frequently, you know, enough that I should come up with an FAQ type response to it, but I always respond individually. If people, you know, wanting me to do an online session with them on Zoom or something, or offering to pay me for it, and all this stuff, and it just makes me feel embarrassed when people do that, because I don't know how to respond. For one thing, I'm socially awkward, so I'm not you know, really into the idea of doing these online one-to-one things for that reason. But on the other, they've built me up to something, and I know they want to meet that thing that they've built me up to be, you know, that image. And I know that once we start having that Zoom call, the whole image is going to shatter, and it's just going to be terrible for both of us, because they're looking for something that I can't give, and I can't give what they're looking for, and it's just not going to work. So, you know, for the time being, I'm not doing any one-on-one Zoom sessions or any of that stuff, but a lot of people are. And okay, fine, you know, it's probably not the worst thing in the world you can do. So I just kind of want to keep making it clear that I don't think this is the worst thing in the world anybody can do. But here's the impression that kind of came up in my mind, like watching this and watching the interview, and they have an online interview with the guy on Instagram, and you know, kind of getting into that. And looking at the articles and looking at the, you know, clicking through some of the links. This is not the only guy doing this. So I'm not even putting down poor Mr. Hira. I'm probably even pronouncing his name wrong, but you know, so forgive me, Mr. Hira, if you're looking at this. I'm not putting you down. There's this whole industry of this stuff, and it's been going around for a long time. It's sort of emerged, I think, sometime when I was living in Japan, because I lived in Japan from 1993 to 2004, and I feel like when I left and moved to Japan, none of this was happening, and by the time I got back in 2005, it was all over the place, you know, and now it's 2021, so it's, you know, it's really all over the place. So there's tons and tons and tons of this stuff where people are selling meditation in that way. And the fact that a guy can make a thing called Meditation Magazine and not have any idea who I am makes me think, oh, he's not even looking at people like me. He doesn't have any interest in a guy at my level writing books about Zen Buddhism. You know, he's all off in this other thing, this other meditation thing. And near as I can tell, I think the folks who are doing this look at meditation as something like a sport, and I don't mean like a competitive sport, but more like an individualistic sport, like surfing, or what do you call that, weight training, CrossFit training, and this kind of stuff, and a kind of a lifestyle, psychological self-help program. You know, so it's somewhere between being a life coach and being a fitness coach. And they kind of, you know, they get their little background in meditation, which usually is pretty meager, and they're going to set themselves up as a meditation coach, you know, and it's like a meditation activist. You know, I'm a meditation activist because I'm spreading meditation in the world. As if I haven't been doing that for the past, God, 20 years, right? Anyway, but they're meditation activists now, so you can be a meditation activist when you're doing this. It's branding, you know. It's just a cool sounding word, you know. You could be a fitness activist or CrossFit activist, and so they're presenting it this way, and it's a paying business like the CrossFit business or the, I don't know, surf coaching. I don't know if they coach surfing, but you know, tennis coaching, you know, it's like that. But they're coaching meditation. The problem is, meditation is some kind of powerful mojo. And this is what I think the whole mindfulness movement is missing, and guys who are doing this kind of meditation for profit or meditation coaching kind of thing are missing. They don't understand what they're dealing with. It's like you're handing them dynamite and they're going, oh, look, a firecracker. You know, let's light this off. This will be fun. You know, no idea what they're dealing with, and you end up with a lot of problems and fallout from it, because people get a little bit into meditation and maybe they're not the most, you know, the clients who are coming to them are not the most stable people in the world sometimes. I mean, why do people get into meditation? You know, because they got problems. So you're dealing with people sometimes with real deep issues, even people who don't have real deep issues. Once you get deeply into meditation practice, there's all kinds of things you can have happen. If you were watching yesterday, you saw when I talked about the visions and stuff that G.U. Kennett had and things like that, that can happen. If you're not trained yourself in how to deal with these things, you won't know how to properly deal with them when they come up in other people. I mean, I've been at this for close to 40 years, and even I feel like I'm on shaky ground with some of the people who come to me who've had, visions or whatever. They've had little freakouts with meditation, and I've got to sit there kind of going, okay, just be cool. This happens to a lot of people, and it's fine. And you haven't just become God, and you haven't usurped you haven't gone beyond the great masters of the past and present. You're just having, the standard sort of things that happen to a person usually in the initial first couple of years of doing a practice like this. So it's kind of difficult to deal with that. And I think a lot of the people who are getting into this, who see it as a kind of lifestyle coaching, I'm going to be a meditation coach instead of a fitness coach or whatever, they don't understand what they're getting into. And what's even worse is a lot of the clients of people like that, they don't understand what they're getting into, because they don't know that there's a whole, that what the depths of meditation can be. They've got, all kinds of fixed ideas about how it is and what it's supposed to be like, and they're not prepared for what happens when you get deeply into a practice like this, and they're following somebody else who doesn't know what happens. So I don't know what my kind of wrap up to all this is, but I just think, I don't know who's watching me now, for example. I get, like I've said often, most of these videos get between 1,500 and 2,000 views, sometimes as low as 1,000, but so I know there's at least 1,000 or 2,000 of you out there who are watching these, and I don't know who you are. So if you are kind of new to this meditation thing, I would say just really be careful who you get involved with, and kind of realize, what it might entail. It might entail going really deep into some really difficult stuff, and if the person you've chosen to sort of coach you or teach you through it isn't herself or himself kind of very, very grounded, they might not be able to deal with your stuff, and the whole thing can go wonky very fast. I was thinking about the sort of guru-disciple relationship, and this is slightly tangential, but I'll throw this in here anyway. The guru-disciple relationship, which doesn't happen in Zen, we really kind of stay away from that, but it does happen in other traditions, even other Buddhist traditions, depends on everybody being very honest with each other. So if the guru is very honest, then the disciple can surrender to the guru, because the guru is also surrendering. So they're both surrendering to the higher power, for want of a better word, surrendering to what the universe wants. And the guru is allowing the communication to kind of flow through her or him, and the student is there, and it works. But it easily goes bad if either the guru or the disciple, this is the thing, that they always make the guru the bad guy, which often it is, but if the disciple isn't sincere, then the guru isn't going to be able to work with an insincere disciple, and the whole thing can go wonky that way too. So don't just always think it's like the guru trying to get in on you, because often it is, but often it's not. So the thing is, you got to have very stable people, and somebody who looks very stable when kind of put among, I don't know, the stars of Jersey Shore or whatever. I don't know what the big reality show is these days, but those kind of things, or 90 Day Fiancé or whatever it is, or Married at First Sight. Somebody who looks like a stable person among those people, it's really just, more stable than all the goofballs on the show, right? Because everybody else is bouncing off the walls, and if one person is a little bit more grounded, then that person looks really good in that context. But maybe in another context wouldn't be so great. Not to try to say anything specifically about the Dino. I don't know what his deal is. I just saw him on that little exchange. But this is just kind of, I don't know, a little rambling rant on how that thing goes, and for the people who listen to me and listen to my videos, just be careful with that. You kind of want to check people out and make sure they got a good grounding in something, and I would recommend a good grounding in one of the established traditions, which I know is a bad word to some people. I think this is one of the other things that goes on here, because everybody, Americans especially, but I think this is happening in Europe, are very like anti-tradition. So like, oh, if it looks like organized religion, I don't want to go near it. But the thing is, those traditions that are established traditions for a reason. They're not just there because they're the big bad, church that's going to be nasty to you. I mean, sometimes they are, but there's established traditions for a reason, and I would recommend going for somebody who's in an established tradition and has an established lineage within that tradition and an established position within that tradition, more than just somebody who just kind of sets himself up as a meditation coach or something like that. So, kind of watch out for that. Just a little bit of advice. Ziggy's barking at my girlfriend's dad now, so maybe I should go see. I'm trying to get him to come outside, but he doesn't want to come outside, and it's one of those days again. Anytime her dad is out, he doesn't want to come outside. So that's the deal with that. And like I said about these people making money, if you want to send money to me instead of to them, because we all got to make a living. Like I say, I don't begrudge these guys making a living. You can send to make me make a living, help me make a living, to the URL you're seeing on the screen below. That is my only way of making money right now, so that is very much appreciated. But if you're having trouble, don't send to me, because I'm hanging in there, and it's okay. And if I start taking these people who are offering me money to talk to them on Zoom, I'd be making a lot of money, but I don't want to do that. Anyway, so this is how it goes for me right now, and I thank you for the support you give me. We'll see you next time. Have a good time all the time. Bye. Wanna come outside, Ziggy? Come on all the way out. I know you're halfway out the door already. Come on, hang out with people. They're nice. They're not gonna hurt you. Come on, my Zig. No?